This video is sponsored by Helsinki Metal Festival 2023.
Hello everybody out there, this is Kai.
And Michael.
And we are booked for the Helsinki Metal Fest as headliners on the
11th of August.
11th.
After all the cancellations and stuff, we're happy to finally come to your country.
Yeah. Come
See you
watch
there
us.
then.
Yeah.
What's up, guys and gals? This is Rauta, and here I'm gonna talk about Beyond the Gates Festival 2023, the last moment things before actually embarking on a trip, which should take place in a couple of days. I'm filming this on a Friday afternoon, and this should come out on Saturday. Do the math, do the counting. I'm embarking on my journey on Wednesday. So, here it is, Bergen, Norway, August 2nd to August 5th. 400 days of festival madness and what to expect. I mean, I previously already went through the lineup and the basic information. I'm not going to do a recap of that, obviously, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a news, plans, that is, what's going to happen in terms of Rauta. Now, obviously, my main task always when I'm doing festivals with my camera people, friends, is that obviously I'm gonna do interviews. I'm going for interviews, what I'm trying to say here. And of course I try to do a couple of interviews each day, so it would be worthwhile doing the trip. However, oftentimes things don't go as planned. You probably know it if you've been watching around the channel for quite some time. Sometimes things go as planned, but those things are very, very rare. For example, this time it's 4 days, supposedly 8 interviews, and as it seems it's not happening as much, but I am trying to do my best. Well, if we take a look at the lineup, I'll give you a little bit pointers in case you be something related to the festival, you are connected, networked, or whatever. Please do help me out if you can. So I'm saying, here we have this list of bands, and I'm trying to avoid doing too many interviews per day because it's just gonna ruin the schedule and planning and all that stuff. But here we have a couple of bands which I tried to do if I could. Possessed and D-Side. And as it looks like for Wednesday, neither of them is happening, which means me loosely hanging and waiting for some replacement. But Wednesday is going to be tricky because I'm arriving to Bergen around maybe 5 p.m. That is 17 for us more civilized people, which means I'm quite late to the party. I'm probably going to miss some of the early bands. Most likely. I hope not, of course, but I mean, it's given that I'm going to miss band that starts 5:30 because, well, I'm traveling that time. And that might make all these interviews really, really hard to come up with, but it is what it is. But once again, if you are looking, if you have possibility to help me out with your interviews or whatever, or if you're running a label, if you're your own band and like, hey, I'm not even playing there, but I could do an interview if you want to, contact me. For Thursday, the day is pretty much similar, but I mean, of course, there are some bands that already start early on. My best guess is I'm gonna miss those bands. Why? Because I'm probably going to see a lot of friends, gonna do a little bit of sightseeing, and of course, you know, whatever. Which means, especially if interviews are taking place around the afternoon times, yeah, I'm not gonna be there to see them. However, a couple of good things are at least happening, and one of them is Negative Plane interview taking place, I'm assuming, on Thursday. There are a couple of bands which I would like to do, definitely. Gorgoroth would be right up my alley, but I am told no video interviews is not happening, and I'm skipping Marduk because I did already a couple of years ago. So now it's time for rerun of that just yet. Of course, Perturbator would be fun, and even, you know, Runes of Beverest. Blood Incantation I contacted, but not to avail, so not likely to happen. Now, good thing with Friday is that I'm already agreed to do Primordial second run, which is great because Alan, the vocalist, he's a good lad, and we already had a good discussion a few years ago in Helsinki, and I'm gonna do a sequel. Alcest I tried contacting, no label, no social media, you know, pages were of help, so that's gonna be skipped. And one of my most anticipated gigs, actually, from the smaller bands is In Twilight's Embrace. This I hope I get to see because I'm interviewing these guys and their latest album is good. Stormkeep I'm probably going to push a little bit later because they're going to play in my home city later this year, so I'm not going to get too greedy here. And for Saturday, we have some interesting bands, and there are a couple of bands which I am doing an interview with, Eternus and Talke. And these are good guys, so I'm definitely stoked to do that, and more Norwegian bands in my interview roster. I've done one with Talke, and now it's time to tackle a different angle, much like with Primordial, already done, so we're gonna talk about different topics this time. Enslaved I'm gonna skip because I already did that a few years ago. I am definitely going back to that if I have the possibility sometimes in the future, but not this time. But this set here, Eld, man, I'm stoked for it. Demo Burger is something that I tried to get but didn't happen, and Mara is the Black Horse. If I suddenly get the possibility to talk to these guys, even though it's not agreed, I will do it, but that's it. Now this leaves a couple of questions hanging. So what are the rest of the bands? I mentioned Eternus, I mentioned Talke, I mentioned Primordial happening, and the rest of the bands not so much. Well, Negative Blade was there. There are a couple of bands which I have already agreed to do, and one of them is Terrestrial Hospice, Polish-Norwegian black metal band. Unfortunately, one of the best ones around at the moment. I mean, one of my album of the years is coming from Terrestrial Hospice, so it will be my pleasure to do that. And even though they have nothing to do with the festival as such and not performing here. Another thing which is happening is that there might be some other bands which are not playing, and I might try to get an interview done. But since those haven't been confirmed yet, I do not know. So all I can say is these, if I counted correctly, 5 bands have been agreed, and yeah, there might be something else happening on top of these things. I mean 5 bands from the festival actually and all that stuff. But when it comes to the other bands, I mean, all the big ones pretty much just ignored. Labels won't be helping. They don't have the contacts. Tour manager might not be available and all that stuff. So if you are living in Bergen and you have a band, or you're visiting Bergen and you do have a band, or you're running a label and do you have a band around, get in contact with me and I might be able to squeeze you into my schedule. I would love to, because like I said, there is no point for me with my camera people to do such trips if there are no interviews to be done. And of course this is to serve the people who are helping to fund this via Patreon support system on Rauta's site, or sending me those random PayPal donations, which is definitely helping to pay the flight tickets and booking hotels. For example, this year already the budget has been used, and this is the last of the reasons, and now we're building budget for next year. So all those helps would be more than welcome in order to do more interviews in coming months and so. But currently there are a couple of interviews still in the pipeline coming before these Beyond the Gate ones are out. So we expect these starting roughly late August, early September, and you're good to go. I will do also, this is worth mentioning because the other reason to do this video was to mention that there are no daily content, review videos and whatnot during my days in Bergen. And the reason is this: I am trying to do what I did already in Inferno earlier this year. So there was supposed to be, and also Steelfest by the way, daily videos, in short format. I am trying to upload them on YouTube, Instagram and Facebook, so follow whatever you want. And I'm gonna do a little bit of daily recaps what's going on, maybe short clips with the artists I'm going to interview. And I got the rumor that Martti, the international metal guy, is supposed to travel to Bergen, and we might see little glimpses of that guy going booze and metal around the event itself. So this is the short recap, short news, what's going on. And if you see me there as a fan or just random person, come say hello. I always have time unless I'm working, which is usually not. I'm probably just hanging out with friends and drinking beer. So if you have me, come say hello and let's metal. So stay metal, be metal, and all that stuff. Rauta out. See you in Bergen. Bye bye.